we are opposed around the world by a monolithic and ruthless conspiracy that relies primarily on covert means, on infiltration instead of invasion, on intimidation instead of free choice, on guerrillas by night instead of armies by day. There is little value in ensuring the survival of our nation if our traditions do not survive with it.
All right, welcome to episode 120 of the Abuse Hour. It is I, your host, Coffee Long, coming to you unsupervised, unmedicated, and an unchecked threat to society. I am hanging out in my secret lair, getting ready to, I got a little action going today. But, dude, there is a lot happening. Dude, it took a few days to get ironed out with this German BMW. Oh, yeah. And, dude, it's the strangest thing, man. I was just talking to somebody about this, that, like, it doesn't seem like asking somebody to just do the very basic, bedrock, simplest parts of their job. Like, that shouldn't be such a tall ask. And yet, somehow, it's like, dude, will you just do the bare minimum and then just let me know when it's done? No, I will not, man. So I get this thing delivered, and it's pretty cool. Like, I got to do a few things to it, but it's going to be pretty cool, I think. And I go over to the DMV, and I'm looking at all this stuff. And I mean, you know, it's like after you go to the DMV once, like you kind of remember, like, okay, I need this and what the fuck else. But you never completely remember because I don't fucking work there, man. It's not my bag. But I go over there, and it's like, yeah, I got this. Where's the title? I'm like, dude, it's from a dealership. I don't know if they're like, yeah, I can't do shit with you. Got to hit them up, get them to give you the right paperwork. I'm like, God damn it. So I come back, man, and it's planes, trains, automobiles, it's emails, it's texts, it's calls, and finally, it's total ass because they dump the situation in some poor woman's lap, you know, in the back that works in like titling or whatever. And they're like, yeah, you need this and this. And let me call and ask. And, you know, it's like she's just the one that's there to take the beating after everybody else is fucked up. And, you know, it gets handed to her like, here, let this person yell at you. And then you unfuck my mistake and everything will be everything. But, yeah, it was a good time. Spent a little bit of the morning doing that. Dude, the DMV can fuck off. And I was actually standing in line bullshitting with this dude. And he says, you know what, dude, I'm thinking of running for office, man, and my the total of my platform is going to be I'll fix the DMV. I was like, oh, well, that's a pretty solid platform. I could see voting for that. Like, who doesn't agree with that? Like, this is a fucking catastrophe. So what else, man, dude? There is so much borderline horrible shit going on. The way I'm kind of thinking of this is almost like, it's like the before time, like I'm putting out a podcast right before everything goes completely off the rails. This situation, I mean, we got the situation in LA and the situation in, with Israel in this. And it's, dude, it's so bad. I think the general consensus is that this LA thing is pretty much AstroTurf, like pretty much cooked up. And it's really just cooked up to have you looking at this and destabilize where they can, but mostly for you to not pay attention to what is probably going to happen in the Middle East. So I guess, before we even look at the LA thing, the situation with Israel right now, like Israel has been shit talking. I mean, dude, ever since I was in even, Israel has been on and on about, bro, we should invade Iran. We should fucking hit Iran. Like, they're trying to blow us up. They want to destroy the home of the Jewish people. Like, what, New York? Like, no, dude. It's bullshit, man. It's been on and on, like the thing with the Bugs Bunny bomb. And it's like a fucking fun drive. Like, look how close they are, bro. Bro, any day now they're going to have everything they need to blow up Israel, and what are we going to do then? And I'm like, dude, I don't care. And two, even if they come up with a nuke, they can't get it over here. But a dirty nuke, bro. Okay, well then we'll just stop letting in the entire fucking world. How would that be? And two, like we never really had enemies in the Middle East until we had Israel as an ally. So why is this even a conversation? Yet, this Jew persists. And they're talking about, like, yeah, we need to strike. We're going to do X, Y, and Z. So I guess the Istanbul talks between the U.S. and Iran talking about, I don't know. I mean, you hear the talk, but I've gotten to a point where I don't believe a fucking word that comes out of this media at all. So the way it's being portrayed essentially is that Iran is trying to collect and refine uranium to a degree that they can use it in a nuclear weapon. The trouble with this is that one, the people that are doing the most bitching about it is one, a country that still denies having nuclear weapons, and that's Israel. And two, the only country on the planet that has used nuclear weapons in war, and that's the U.S. So the only country that's used them, and a country that has them but denies having them, doesn't let anybody look at what they have going on, and is currently involved in what, by any definition, is a genocide. These are the two countries, the only two countries bitching that this country over here, some other country that hasn't invaded anybody. And I mean, it's how fucking weird do I feel like shilling for Iran? Like, I'm not trying to shill for Iran, but I am trying to shill against these tiny hats and coin clippers that are doing their damnedest to drag you and everybody else into yet another war that we don't really need to be involved in. Another fucking war. I mean, I don't even remember, in the before time when it was like, yeah, we don't really have anything going on. But, I digress, dude. I'll get to that, forthwith. So Israel is talking about, yeah, we're gonna strike, bro. We're gonna do this thing, bro. And apparently, from the looks of it, and obviously you're not gonna get all the inside baseball from our position, seeing what you can see in the news or divining what you can through the tea leaves. Like, you're not ever gonna get the whole story. But what it does appear is that Israel just kind of does what the fuck it wants. Like, you want to, blow up a fucking building with 80-something people in it, like I guess just happened a couple days ago. Like, yeah, 80-something people, man. Blam. Goodbye. See you later. Oh, no, this was a Hamas stronghold. Of course it was, guy. Of course. But they just kind of do whatever the fuck they want. You want to, push into other countries, whatever. They just kind of do what they want. This situation with this fucking Greta Thunberg, Greta fucking alcohol fetal syndrome person, this thing that she was involved with, it's bizarre because they almost make it look like she's stupid. Who gives a fuck what happens to her? In a lot of ways, yeah, she is stupid, and who gives a fuck what happens to her? But at the same time, like, when you look at the actual goings on here, like, they were saying that, yeah, we're headed for Palestinian waters towards a Palestinian port. But before they were even in those waters, they're still in international waters, and they get intercepted by Israel. So, I mean, by any fucking shade, this is basically piracy. Dude. And I mean, this I do know a little bit about, man. I was involved in some shit where, like, we were supposed to be stopping stuff coming out of Iraq, and it became so gay. Like, dude, you go into this thing like fucking operator, bro, fucking special, fucking this, that, and the other fucking thing. And you go out here and you're pulling over fucking Indians in fucking little motorboats, like trucking dates out of Iraq, like just trying to make a few bucks, dude. And it's like, what the fuck? And it's the middle of the night. They don't have guns. They don't have shit. They're not Iraqi. They're not anything. And you're like, dude, what the fuck? And it was still, though, like in a legal sense, it was all a big fucking deal because it all had to happen within this one specified fucking area. This is the only place that you can be doing this shit. And it's during these fucking hours. So it was always like hours of darkness. So why you wouldn't, and I tell fucking guys, I'm like, dude, go in the daytime. I won't fucking be here. I don't give a shit. You're, some fucking Pakistani and you're cruising out of here with some fucking dates. I don't give a fuck, dude. I'm like, just wait until I'm fucking gone. And they're like, okay, whatever, sir. Okay. Dude, I swear, we got on one fucking boat and this guy was getting high. Like, he's got a fucking joint. And he sees us get on the boat and he fucking throws it out. And I'm like, what the fuck you do that for, man? He's like, oh, like I'm the fucking cops. Like I'm coming to bust him. I'm going to tell his folks or some shit. But, yeah, even so, though, at the time, it was this big fucking deal about this is how you got to do this shit. You got to behave just like so because, otherwise this is fucking piracy. And motherfuckers will get in trouble. You're like, okay, I don't want to get in trouble. But now you look at fucking Israel and it's like, oh yeah, I see that these unarmed fucking dingbats, these fucking nobodies, these, faux influencers, they're taking a fucking sailboat to Gaza. And okay, well, fuck you. We're taking your fucking sailboat. It's like, dude, what the fuck, man? But they just get away with this shit. So now where we're at is the U.S. is bending over backwards and fucking sideways because, like I said, dude, I really get the impression that, like, for whatever you want to say about the guy, that Donald Trump really doesn't have a fucking thing for violence. Like, this is not a violent dude. Like, he might be any number of things, man. He might be a little bit shady. He might be kind of a dick. He might be cold-blooded, but he does not seem cool with the violence. It doesn't seem like his cup of tea. So it seems like he is really bending over backwards and sideways to try to get this thing worked out so that, like, motherfuckers don't get blown up and so on and so on. But Israel is like, I don't give a fuck. So at the time of this recording, this Steve Witkoff is headed to Istanbul yet again for what appears to be round 6 of these talks. And the last thing I saw about these talks was that Iran is now saying, like, you know what, man, fuck you guys, fuck your fucking inspectors. We're going to do whatever the fuck we want. We're going to refine as much uranium as we want, because what they were saying before was like, look, dude, we're not even going to pursue weapons grade uranium. We're doing this to build like a reactor for energy purposes. We've told you this before. You could look at, whatever our refinement facilities are. We're doing what we said we would do. We're not going to let you come in here and just run willy-nilly. And why the fuck would you, man? After some of the shit that's gone on. But they said, no, this is all we're fucking doing. We don't need to talk anymore about this. If you want to talk about something, talk about your own fucking business. U.S., you've invaded how many fucking countries? Israel, you're fucking murdering how many fucking people, and you come to us? Dude, I can't blame them. I cannot fucking blame them. On top of which, if you get a chance, there's where is it, dude? I want to say it's on Netflix maybe, but it's there's a documentary called, I think it's called 0 Days, and it's about the Stuxnet virus. And the Stuxnet virus, I guess this is really like just the popularly accepted name. Well, I guess the Stuxnet is, in my limited understanding, is the name of the virus that was developed for a project, I believe, a joint NSA Mossad project called Olympic Games. So in this documentary, they had somebody, and I don't know if it was the actual person or someone portraying the, again, I'm not going to say whistleblower, but the person discussing it. And they're talking about, this Olympic Games thing, the way that this worked was they would go around, inject it into different, computer systems, upload it to different computer systems. And the idea was that this thing would like worm its way through as many systems as it could connect to. And it's looking for the Iranian centrifuge, whatever the fuck, network, computer, whatever the hell there. The problem that it had was that this Iranian centrifuge system, so this is a centrifuge system for refining uranium, it was in a standalone protocol. So the idea there is that basically nothing goes in or out. So inside like a skiff, right, like an intelligence facility, they'll have it where nothing goes in or out. Like you don't plug shit in here. You don't plug in your fucking phone or a thumb drive or nothing. And if you plug something in, like everything will like just shut the fuck down, and people will be in your ass. They're like, hey, you plugged into this fucking thing. Like, why do you have the little fucking USB ports active? Then do me a fucking solid and don't do that shit. But if you plug into any of this shit, they'll go fucking batshit. They even have what they call secure power. And I have no idea how or why this is a thing, but the power supply is rigged up just so that there is no possible way that like you could plug into the thing. Like, I don't know if somehow you would, I mean, I could see like in Israel doing some shit like this after the shit they pulled with the beepers and that. But where you, I don't know if maybe you could like hardwire something that's like a USB capability into the power cord, and then when you plug into the outlet, somehow you're able to turn an outlet into like a USB extension kind of a thing. I don't know. Alls I know is facilities I saw, they had no shit bunny ears secure power. So you plug something in here, you plug it into the fucking red thing in the wall. You don't plug it into nothing else. You don't plug anything into the USB thing and so on. So this was the way this facility in Iran was being run. So they had a motherfucker of a time figuring out how to do it. And I can't remember how they got it in there, but somehow, some way, it was like they got this thing onto somebody's phone, or phone, I don't fucking know, onto something that somebody fucked up and connected it inside this facility. And the way that it did it, it would make the centrifuges start spinning faster and faster and faster. So obviously somebody would see that, on the fucking little gauges or whatever. So they would be like, whoa, it's spinning too fast. It's getting too hot or whatever. And they would like click to fucking turn it down. And then the thing that they would see on the screen is like, yeah, you're saying turn it down. Okay, it's turning down. It's turning down. Okay, it's cool. It's cool. But you're not standing right there fucking looking at it. So what was happening is that the thing you see says, okay, yeah, it's turning down, but it actually keeps spinning it faster, faster, faster. So while you're seeing that, like, yeah, this thing's okay, it was going too fast, I'm turning it down, let's just shut it off for a while. Okay, yeah, that's happening, but then, whatever, in the fucking depths of the earth or wherever they have this shit, it's actually spinning faster and faster until it just flies apart and like, blam, like just destroys the whole fucking thing. So, one, like you've got, how fucking messy is that, dude? I mean, you've got radioactive material just everywhere. All of this facility is fucking destroyed. I mean, you can't go in there and do shit with it. Like, you just kind of have to abandon this whole fucking thing. So, what a fucking catastrophe, right? But this is what the U.S. and Israel do to this country. Now, look, man, you could say, like, yeah, fuck those people. And yeah, dude, fuck those people. I didn't leave my wallet in fucking Iran. But if you're going to come out here talking about, like, bro, the right thing to do, let's all get along, let's be good neighbors, bro. Well, you can't be doing shit like this. And when the entire rest of the international community, it just, I think it was last week, put out yet another call for, like, hey, the fucking thing in Gaza, this is fucked up. We need to put out a call for this to stop now. Fucking yesterday. This shit cannot go on. And who fucking vetoes it? Who do you fucking think? Israel's greatest fucking puppet, this country. The U.S. is like, yeah, no, you go ahead. Keep doing what you're doing. Whether or not we're still sending these idiots money and weapons, I couldn't say. I'm sure we are, and I'm sure we're just not going to hear about it. But that's the kind of shit that's going on, man, in your fucking name. So where we're at now is that, again, Steve Witkoff going to Istanbul for yet, I think it's the 6th round of talks here. And it does not appear, by all appearances, it does not look like this is going to work out at fucking all. There was a statement by the Iranian government that, like, hey, yeah, we were talking about, how we were willing to, meet halfway on some of these things, but here's what we're going to do now, man. If we can't fucking arrive at an agreement where you motherfuckers leave us alone, then we're not just going to keep doing what we're doing. We're going to build another facility, and we're going to refine enough uranium to make a weapon. We're going to get it to weapons grade, and this is fucking happening, and we're going to do it in a place where you cannot fucking reach us. So I don't know how else you can say, man, that, like, that didn't go real fucking well. Like, you're supposed to be over here de-escalating this shit, and this is, what you come up with instead. Like, your version of fixing the situation is pissing people off to where you're like, yeah, looks like we're going to go to war. Apart from that, there was, I think Trump gave some speech recently, and he had a bunch of army dudes behind him, and somebody had posted it, I think, on Twitter, and it was like, I see one black person back there, and the whole rest of this crowd is white men. It's all white male soldiers. And it's like, you're going to fucking war, dude. This is happening. So I guess that's the kind of thing that I really wanted to bang on straight away, because I talked to a few people, man. I talked to a few people in real life, and I talked to a few people online. And, man, dude's got to, you have got this, like, if you're a military age dude, like, between 18 and 27, you need to be aware of this. And anybody and everybody, whether you're in that age bracket or not, dudes need to be passing the word that this is not a fucking government that you should be fighting for. And you can make what you want out of that in terms of, like, well, look, dude, it's the country's fucked up, the government's fucked up, but it's still our country. Man, I am going to go out and say that, like we've been saying for a long time, you're not going to fucking vote your way out of this. Like, there's not a way that you just magically unfuck this. And even if there was, you putting on a uniform and putting yourself in a position to do whatever you are fucking told, like, that is not, you can't get there from here, dude. I'll tell you, man, I listened to this morning. I just listened to this thing. And again, dude, I've done the wrong thing. Like, I turned on history on my fucking YouTube shit on my phone. So now it's like, I was telling you last week, like, I looked at this one thing where it was talking about, like, the little bullshit spats between special operations communities. So now, like, that's like half of my fucking, it's either that or fucking hard base, Russian hard base. That's all I have, man. So I looked on there and I was like, what the fuck? So I was trying to find a podcast this morning, and there's not much to work with of late. You know, sometimes it'll be like 3 or 4 things in a day, and then a few days after that is like there's fucking nothing. Today was a fucking nothing day. So I'm like, I don't know, maybe there's something on YouTube, man. So I looked there, and it had some podcast that I never heard of before, but it was talking about Eddie Gallagher. And I don't know if you know who Eddie Gallagher is. He was a SEAL team guy who got accused of war crimes during, 2017, something like that. 2017, 2018, something like this. So he got accused of murder and then just a whole bunch of other crazy shit. And from everything I could gather out of it, I mean, it very much sounded like some of my own experiences where, like, you get accused of something and management wants to make some kind of showing where, like, yeah, dude, we're willing to demonstrate that we play ball, you know, that we're willing to hang out one of our own. And hearing this dude's account was like, these motherfuckers, like, they did this guy wrong, man. Like, just rolled up to him at work one day. Like, dude wasn't even on deployment anymore. Got back from a deployment, some deal in Iraq, super fucked up. Got back from deployment, and I get to tell you the whole story. You can, check it out. There's plenty of podcasts to cover it. But basically, the dude got back, was working like a staff type job, and they rolled up and they're like, hey, you're under investigation. He's like, for fucking what? They're like, we ain't going to tell you. Like, well, what the fuck, dude? Now, yeah, guess what? You're getting arrested now. And he's like, well, what mean arrested, dude? For what? I don't even know what I'm being accused of. But in the military, like, what you got to understand, dude, and what I tell motherfuckers constantly is you are not a fucking person. You are not a citizen. You are not fucking anything. You are property. And between you and the government, when they talk about, hey, this is your contract, your enlistment contract, what they will tell you, what they have to fucking tell you when you enlist the first time is that this is not a contract. A contract, like we talked about last fucking time, offer and consideration. You fucking do this thing and we will give you this, whatever. We're going to pay you X and you're going to do that. Or we're going to give you this training and you're going to do that. This is not what you have. You don't have a contract as a military dude. You have an agreement. The agreement is I will do whatever the fuck you say. I am your property. That is it, dude. And I shit you not. Like, the way it was explained to me was that, hey, man, if you get a sunburn and you can't go to work, they can actually legally come after you for damaging government property. Like, you're a non-serviceable piece of equipment. So when you look at it from that perspective and you start talking about, like, well, bro, I want to learn to shoot and I want to do some of the fun shit you all get to do. I want to walk around in the woods and sleep in a truck and make friends with somebody who's going to get killed next to me. Like, no, you don't need any of that shit. All right, and you sure as fuck don't need the headache of, like, yeah, dude, I can't even speak my mind about this shit. Because next thing you know, you're going to get called in there and like, hey, man, that's what you're doing, what you're saying is contrary to good order and discipline. And there's even, I can't remember what article it is in the UCMJ, Uniform Code of Military Justice. I can't remember what the article number is. I think it's like 138 or 139 or 137, something like this. But it's called the General Article, and it's basically like exactly that. Anything contrary to good order and discipline. So, like, what's the charge? Pissing me off. That is the fucking charge, and that charge will stick. If you happen to be in the military already, I'll tell you what I told dudes nonstop. And when in the event that you listen to the Eddie Gallagher podcast and hear his story, he did the exact same thing. And it's what I will fucking tell you is that if you ever find yourself on the hook for anything, and this applies, dude, not even just to dudes in the military, but in real life, shut the fuck up. Don't give anybody anything to fucking hang you with. And, you might say, like, well, what I did was reasonable, or this situation I was in, I wasn't even fucking there. I have nothing to do with it. I don't know anything that they're talking about. Well, that makes it fucking worse because you don't really know what you're being accused of. But from their perspective, they have enough to pin something on you, and you have no idea how to fight it because you don't even know what the fuck they're talking about. So, especially if you're innocent, shut the fuck up. If you happen to be in the military, and this was how my situation went down, was that I had a dude. Well, I'll give you the quick version because I had told this story before. I was working in Southeast Asia, and we had this deal where there were some high-value characters rolling through this after-hours bar. So, again, this is a part of the world where, like, yeah, it's Muslim, but motherfuckers still go to the bar. So there's some Muslims, and then there's also some non-Muslims, and this particular bar that we were talking about was like, it was like the DMZ, like motherfuckers come in here, you just come in here and drink, you hang out, you want to fight, you fucking do it outside, go out in the street, kill each other, go nuts, but in here, be cool. And it's kind of like the idea is real cool, of something like that. It's like the fucking Star Wars creature cantina. But in real life, it's like it makes for a fucking tense fucking deal, man. Like motherfuckers walk in and you see them and they see you and you're like, all right, what's it going to be? And we had a situation where we were going to set up, well, we were talking to the guy that owns a place, and there were like high value motherfuckers coming through here. And this dude didn't like him. His waitresses, who were from the same region of the country, didn't like him. So it was like, hey, we'll tell you who these fucking guys are, and the waitresses will tell you what they're talking about, man. If you want to, plan for them, don't do it here, but, if you want to follow up. Like, yeah, cool, man. So we're putting this situation together. And we rolled out, me and the guy that I'm working with, we roll out in separate vehicles so that, like if one of us gets hit or one of us, some weird shit happens, then it's like you can go back and get the other guy, or you can speed up and, run somebody else off the road. It just makes it harder for somebody to fuck with you. But if you're in one vehicle, it's like you're both in the same spot. You get shot up, you get stopped, you get run off the road, whatever, man. It just makes life easier for someone to fuck with you. So we rolled in two vehicles. So we roll out, and the way we were going to do this was, whenever we leave something that you would consider operational, you're going to stop, you're going to talk it up, like you stop and see if anybody's following you or if anything weird's going to happen. So the deal was we were going to cruise. We're going to stop at this little, I don't know what you would call it, sort of like a Chinese version of a McDonald's. It's not a McDonald's, but it's, like a little Asian fast food joint. And it's supposed to be 24 hours, but we go around this corner and it's like, like not 24 hours in a row, like this thing's closed, dude. And they're hosing the place out. Like, I don't know, maybe somebody got killed or threw up or whatever, but the place is fucking closed. So we take off, we would take off and then head back to the house. But because we're rolling in separate vehicles, I drive by, place is closed. I'm like, all right, man, fuck it. I'm just going back to the pad. I roll back to the pad. I get headed up to the room. I'm like, I'm waiting. I should hear from this dude. I don't hear nothing. And I'm starting to get sketchy and I'm like, fuck, dude. So I'm like, all right, like I got to head back out and look for this fucking guy. So I'm reaching for the door, and now the phone in my room rings, and it's like the hotel we were staying in was owned by a criminal organization. They're nice guys, cool guys though. But we were staying there, and we were cool with them. They kind of knew what we were doing. Like everybody's doing something, man. Like they know you're not just some fucking American hanging out in this fucking place. They know you're up to something, and you already know that they're up to something. But, like, it's a very weird feel, but you know that, like, you're cool. Like, these guys won't fuck you over because you're fucking paying them. And you'll see them all the time and be like, yeah, cool, man, everything's good. And you know if something goes wrong, where they're at, that it's going to be one of your guys that comes and straightens them out. So it's like, yeah, you don't fuck with us, we're not going to fuck with you. And we were real cool with these guys. But the phone in my room rings, and I pick it up, and I'm like, what the fuck, dude? It's like 4 a.m. And this Chinese motherfucker is like, what you doing? I'm like, what the fuck you think I'm doing, man? I'm like, I'm fucked up. I'm going to bed. he's like, bro, you got to get out. Cops coming. I'm like, fuck. So I start heading for the door. I'm going to fucking bail. And my cell phone rings, and it's a guy I'm working with, and he's telling me about, like, yeah, dude, like, they're trying to run into me and, like, do this little game that they would do, fucking run into you and get money off of you. We get back, dude, and it's like the whole fucking base is awake. Everything's fucking spun up. Like, they're running around like we fucking killed somebody. And I'm like, what the fuck is going on? And, like, long story short, like, they tried to shake this dude down. We had some suspicion that maybe we stepped on the wrong agency's toes by some of the hookups we were getting, because we were getting hooked in pretty good, like, between the government and organized crime and all the little bridges between. We had this concern that, like, dude, I think we might have stepped on some toes, but this shit went down, and we were like, fuck, it's a good fighting chance that that's how it went down. But the guy that I was working with now, like, they tried to accuse this guy of, like, 1, running somebody off the road, 2, trying to kill somebody, 3, like, that. None of that shit stuck, because the story was just all fucked up. And then it was like, well, she's this woman. Some woman says you got out and put a gun to her head. And I'm like, dude, none of these stories are all fucked up. I'm like, what are you even talking about? And they're like, where were you? And I, like, explained, like, dude, I wasn't there at the alleged place where you're saying this shit happened, but I don't believe any of this shit happened. So they're like, well, you were probably back at the hotel because you were drunk. Were you driving drunk? I'm like, what are you fucking talking about? Yeah, you're fucking out of here. So, like, they basically 86 me and this dude out of this country. It was a whole fucking investigation. And I'll tell you, like, listening to some of these other stories, like, from military dudes that have gotten fucked around and investigated, like this Eddie Gallagher dude, if I didn't live through it myself, I would think it was fucking exaggerated. Like, bro, it's not like that. Dude, it's like that and then some. Like, this dude, I'm listening to this, and he was talking about, like, yeah, man, my entire chain of command just, like, blew me off, like, wouldn't return my calls. Like, nobody, like, everybody just fucking stays back from you. And it was exactly the same thing that I had, man. Like, fuckers wouldn't return my calls. I got fucking stranded halfway around the world. And they're just like, yeah, too bad. I didn't have my own driver's license. Like, I didn't have shit. I'm like, dude, I need some help. And they're like, I can't help you. Sorry. So I got fucked around for like a month, man. And then I finally got sent home. And then when I got sent home, I got pulled into, I got pulled into like the standard, investigative hearing of like, so what the fuck? We're going to get to the bottom of this. I'm like, dude, there's nothing to get to the fucking bottom of. And they're like, were you in a bar? I'm like, yeah, dickhead, read the fucking brief, dude. Like, this was the fucking plan. I was supposed to be there. And they're like, yeah, but were you drinking in there? I'm like, I'm not answering any more of your fucking questions, dude. This is fucking retarded. And at that point, they're like they legit sent somebody. They flew people back to this country to go into this bar, like flew like officers in their fucking uniforms to walk in here and be like, hi, I'm so-and-so from such and such, and I have some questions about this guy. Do you recognize this guy? Did you ever see him drinking in here? How about on this day? Did you see him in here on this day? Was he fucked up on this day? And I'm like, dude, you're going to have a really hard time making this fucking stick. But they got back, and the findings of their investigation were like, nah, nobody remembered seeing him. Nobody knows what the fuck you're talking about, because I was cool with a lot of these people. Like, I treated them right. So it was like, I don't know who you're talking about. Like, if I went back today, I could probably run for office. Like, I treated these people well. But they did me right, on the other side when these clowns showed up like, hey, do you recognize this person? They're like, nah, never seen him before in my life. But they got back, man, and like the investigation findings were like, yeah, we find that he was drinking and driving. I'm like, how the fuck do you arrive at this shit? So like when I hear these other stories, like the Eddie Gallagher thing or any of this other shit that you hear about, like really fucked up military shit, and it's like, oh, I can't believe they would do somebody like that. Like, dude, they will do somebody like that and then some, because they are used to serving the machine. And the machine says, like, I want somebody's blood. Like, take it. I'll throw him to you right now. And, like, they'll fucking do it, man. So what I'm getting at, I guess, long way around the fucking fence, is that, if you were thinking of, like, maybe I'll change the situation from the inside, the way motherfuckers talk about things like that, like, do not fucking do that shit, man. With this high probability of war coming up with Iran, with the state of this fucking country, with this shit like happening in LA, Do not do those things, man. Do not, whatever the fuck you do not put yourself in a position where you are any more beholden to the machine than you absolutely have to fucking be. That is a horrible fucking idea. Dude, if you want to go shoot, you want to go backpack, you want to parachute, you want to fucking scuba dive, you want to shoot, move, and communicate, you want to fucking secret squirrel around the city and set up fucking dead drops and meet with people on the fucking sly, anything you want to fucking do, man, there are guys within our thing that can walk you through any fucking number of these fucking capabilities, dude. You can build all this shit. I mean, I think a long time ago, probably, there was a time when, like, to actually learn to do a thing, you know, man, whether it's fucking fix a car or, I don't fucking know, dude. Paint a portrait, build a house. I don't fucking know. But a long time ago, to learn to do these things well, you know, you probably needed to learn from somebody who was really good at it, and they're going to show you all the ins and outs, and it's going to be a day-to-day thing, and you're going to watch them for a while, and then they're going to watch you, and they're going to fix your technique, and they're going to unfuck some of the little things that you're fucking up. But it ain't like that no more, man, because even now when it's like, you know, yeah, your style might not quite fit with this dude's style, you know, like some of the grappling conversations we've had in here, man, where like if you're a thick, stocky guy and you're learning from like a tall, lanky guy, like your style might not quite jive with what this guy's doing. But because of how much information is out there, you know, you can get on the YouTube, you can go to fucking seminars, you can buy fucking videos and instructionals and shit. And that guy has probably done some of the same stuff where he's looking at different styles and he's like, yeah, okay, so this is how I do it. But I've seen videos or I've watched matches where guys built like you will tend to do like this. So there's so much information going around that, like, to imagine that you got to sign away years of your life and then to say that, like, yeah, I'm not entering into a contract, like I'm legit just entering an agreement where I will do whatever the fuck you say. That's asinine, dude. Do not do that shit. I mean, dude, I'll give you a bad haircut right now. Come by the house, dude. I'll give you a shitty haircut. I'll give you some clothes that don't fit quite right and smell really bad. You'll be in business, dude. It's just like the real thing. And what I think a lot of cats forget is that once you leave, even when you leave, they have a fucking grip on you. Because if you have any kind of a security clearance, then, like, especially if you have a TS, like you get a top secret clearance, then they get to fucking look over anything that you publish. So you write a fucking children's book, you got to submit that shit for review. Like, hey man, take a look at this, dude. Tell me if I'm cool here. You know, if you do like a children's book and, like, you know, probably nobody's going to come hunt you down. But if you're writing a book about, like, hey, here was my time in Afghanistan, here's some shit that I did, or some shit I was on, somebody might take issue, dude. And they might just take issue just for the fact that you pissed someone off by not submitting your manuscript and saying, hey man, will somebody look over this, please? And even once you're out, you're still part of what they call like the ready reserve. And I think that's the term for it, ready reserve. But you're basically still on the hook. Like if shit goes completely sideways, we retain the option to pull you back in for a number of years. So one way that gets hectic is that if you do something really fucked up or that really pisses somebody off, say you retire, you don't retire, whatever, you get out as like an E5 or whatever, E5, E6, doesn't fucking matter. You do something that pisses somebody off, like you get rolled up at a fucking political riot. Say you were at January 6th, right? Let's just say that. It is my understanding, if there's any lawyers, you fucking speak up, but they can actually pull you back into the military, reactivate you, and say, hey man, we still have our hooks in you. Bring your fucking ass back in here. They bring you back in, bust you down, and now kick your fucking ass out as like, yeah, dude, bad conduct discharge. Get out of here. Fuck off. Who needs that? Who the fuck needs that? So again, man, just with the state of things, you know, especially in the international sense, we're like, yeah, dude, staring down the barrel of very, very possibly going to war with Iran, I would say no fucking thank you. Closer to home, man, this situation in LA, I don't have visibility on exactly what's happening today. Let's look it up real quick. LA news. And it's got like law news. It's going to give me news from France or some kind of shit. Any time? I don't want any time out the past day. Let's look at that. Come on. Come on. Let's see. Protest live updates. Yeah, shit's going down. Oh, there's a Mexican dude getting handled in fucking court. Oh no, California Senator Alex Padilla removed from DHS press conference. So DHS giving a press conference in California somewhere, and California Senator Alex Padilla. Yeah, imagine that. He looks like somebody just stole his fucking lawnmower. He looks like some landscaper that got done wrong. You owe me $200. You can't just take my lawnmower. California Senator Padilla removed from Noam's Christie Noam. Ah, yes, great wall whaler. I mean, the absolute state, man. This is what I'm talking about, dude. You got like this Mexican fella getting gripped by a black dude, some other Mexicans, and why? Because he's getting into it with Christie Noam, one of Israel's greatest servants. What kind of fucking country is this? This is not a serious place. 81 arrested in LA on Wednesday, nearly 500 arrests since Saturday. And that's good news. It's nice to see people getting rolled up. Texas governor sends 5,000 guardsmen, 2,000 state troopers to protests. So yeah, man, I don't know. It's very dodgy, and I know a lot of cats. I see a lot of the commenting, people talking about like, don't be a fucking bootlicker, dude. Don't be like you're this. I don't know, like you're jockeying for the police state or whatever. But I would say that, like, we didn't have to have a militarized police force until we had, diversity getting enforced at bayonet point. Because if you remember, that's how all this shit started, right? Was like, you're going to fix bayonets and force kids to march to school to sit in there with Tyrone so that, hopefully someday people can get stabbed in the hallways and everything's going to work out from there. Rabbi's going to be happy. So it definitely feels like the right before time. Like these were the days leading up to X, Y, and Z, and who exactly knows what the fuck X, Y, and Z is going to be. But what I can tell you is that if you're in any kind of way, shape, or form halfway prepared for any kind of weird shit that comes down the pipe, then you will probably be well ahead of the average Joe. Because what it looks like the average Joe is talking about is, I mean, dude, I see these fucking people that are like the Starbucks people. And it's like, what are you ready for? You're ready for nothing, man. You're going to go to some fucking protest, but you've got so much overhead protection. You've got lawyers prepaid for. You got people dropping off helmets and gas masks. What would you do if you didn't have any of that shit? And there are apparently a good few protests planned. They're talking about this No Kings thing, which seems like it has gone quite by the wayside. Were these not the same people screaming about like, yeah, no, you're going to get this fucking injection into you, or we're going to take your fucking kids away and we're going to fire you from your job. You're not going to be able to leave your house. What happened to that, dude? Like, you were just fucking saying that, and now we're talking about no kings, no whatever. And I believe that's I want to say that's a communist fucking Marxist thing. Let's look. I think it's no gods, no kings. This phrase, no gods, no kings, has multiple interpretations and contexts. In the context of video game Bioshock, what the fuck? Seen as a slogan for anarchism or libertarianism, advocating for a society without hierarchical authority. Well, I can tell you that won't ever fucking work, because I will be there to take your things if that's the way that you want to play. Me and the boys, because two of us will always beat the shit out of one of you. Anyway, it seems like that whole no kings thing really fell by the wayside, as soon as they had something they wanted. But now they got Orange Man, who they don't like, and cops enforcing removing of their favorite burrito cook, and suddenly people aren't happy about that shit, which I don't give a fuck, dude. I really do not give a fuck. But what I do know is that apparently there are protests organized for the 14th, I believe. Yeah, so for Saturday the 14th, and they are being funded largely by some broad who inherited a stack of shekels through the, wait for it, Walmart empire. And why would that be, man? Like, why would somebody like that try to, why would they want so many illegals and open borders and such? Well, I would imagine that the more a border is reduced or the less process is involved, the easier it is to move goods and services back and forth across. And most likely, Walmart, like that's their key demographic, right? Like we make shit for poor people. Like, I thought that, I remember growing up, I always thought like Target was a place for poor people, right? But Walmart is something special. Like if you go in there, what the fuck is this, dude? Like this is tragic and wild, but that does appear to be the case, man. They're like, yeah, no, you're taking away our customers, man. I like these poor motherfuckers. So, and again, who the fuck knows? Maybe they got a picture of her on Epstein Island doing Christ knows what. But right now, that is what's going on. So apart from that, man, one of the things that I had seen come up, and this is not really related to anything, but one of the things that I saw come up was the fact that gold compared to silver right now. So somebody was saying something about investing, I remember somebody asked like, hey, Coffee, are you invested in anything? Dude, I am not. I am exactly not invested in anything because for one, like the Wall Street thing, like buying stocks, dude, to me, that shit is an absolute fucking racket, dude, because if you buy some stocks and it comes up short, right, like it loses value, like what are you going to fucking do then? And cats say, you can write off the loss, dude. Yeah, but you don't have that fucking money now, dude. You lose a bunch of fucking money. And great, you can write that off, but I mean, what does that really fucking save you? That's like fucking nickels, right? And I don't even know to what degree you can write it off anymore, because I think at this point they've just bumped up the standard deduction a lot, and a whole lot of stuff that you used to be able to write off is like you ain't writing off shit now. You just shut up, get your ass back to work. So you're kind of fucked if whatever it is you bought decreases in value. On the other hand, if it goes up, then there's the man standing there like, hey, how'd we do today? Dude, you again, motherfucker. And even then, if you buy something and it goes up in value, you get a little, maybe you sell it and you get a little money. Okay, great, man. But now you got to ask yourself, after you pay taxes on that shit, you got to ask yourself, like, the amount of money that I just made, does that even cover the spread on inflation? Because if inflation is, I don't even know what it is year to year now. I mean, they bullshit you to such a degree. Between 3 and 5%, I think, is a pretty safe bet. But if you make a couple of bucks on something, some fucking stock, you buy AT&T, whatever, you buy fucking Tesla, it don't matter. You buy something and you go, oh, look, I made a few dollars. You sell it, you get that couple of dollars. Now you fucking pay taxes on that. Like that amount of money that you made, does that even cover the fucking spread of like the buying power you would have had if you had just gone and bought whatever you're going to fucking buy with that in the first place? So to me, man, like Wall Street, I don't touch it. I don't fuck with it. If I had inherited, a gazillion shares of fucking Apple that great grandpa bought in 1982 or some shit, I'd be into that. I'd be super stoked. I'll take my little dividend. I didn't lose the fucking money on this or any of this. I'd be stoked. I'd take it. But I don't have that. I have what I have now, which is not a whole fucking lot. On the crypto side, I told you my crypto horror story, and I firmly believe that shit is manipulated to high fucking heaven, man. Really the same way that currencies were manipulated until we allowed these coin clippers to control the central banks, which meant that like they get a fucking steady income, you just get it in the ass. But it also saves them from doing that boom and bust bubble fucking stunt they do with currencies, whenever you don't let them control it on their own. So crypto, I don't really fuck with that either. If you got it and you like it, knock yourself out, dude. I'm not saying, don't never do it. But I mean, after some of the rug pulls we've seen, I mean, fuck, dude. Trump rug pulled, fucking Melania rug pulled. I can't remember how many people fucking Stu Peters fucking rug pulled, which reminds me, I saw something, and I don't know how true this is. This could be total bullshit. But I saw something that like Stu Peters had a long, long history of bullshitting. Like this guy will be fucking anybody, like presented himself as like, hey, I'm a pro hockey player, and had somebody convinced that he was like a pro hockey player. And then they find out like, yeah, he's not actually a pro fucking anything. This could be bullshit. This is just what I hear. What is a possibility? I've actually been looking at high-end watches as a way to invest in. Again, I'm not pitching this to anybody because it ain't something I know a lot about. It's just something that I think is kind of halfway cool. and might be at least a way to store some wealth, because it is at least something that consistently holds value, that and something like gold or silver. Anyway, something interesting I had heard of in terms of the gold situation was that historically the value of gold and silver has been a lot closer than it is right now. And I don't know exactly what that, all I know is that it means that gold is more valuable than silver. But as for why is it happening like that, I couldn't begin to fucking guess. But I do guess there's like two ways to look at it though. On one hand, you could guess that, hey, at some point this is going to level back out and either gold is going to sink or silver is going to rise, in which case if you're holding silver, then you'll be a smart fella, like, oh yeah, this is worth a whole lot more than it was before. Or if you're holding gold, that like, oh, it's, I should have bought silver because now it's leveling out and I feel like I got ripped off. Who the fuck knows? Or it could be an indicator of a larger trend. Like, why is gold more valuable now? Like, comparably, why is it more valuable now than it was at any point in history? Is that a trend that, like, yeah, it's going to continue in that way because of something? I don't fucking know. But again, this is not even my fucking thing. I'm not your precious metals guy. It's just something I saw that I read something about. And like, yeah, it could mean either thing. It could mean that like silver is going to catch up, or it could mean that this is the way things are going and people really like their fucking gold. I do know that Chinese people have a thing for gold, dude, and I can't explain it. I don't know what that shit's about, but I do know that, because I did have a chance to talk to this Chinese dude, like he was, whatever, an American passport holder, but he was also Chinese. And he didn't like Chinese people at all. He's like, dude, they're fucking terrible. They're greedy. They're always fucking looking for money. And it was fucking comic to listen to. But he was saying that like it's all about fucking gold with these people. Like every birthday, every major fucking thing, like a holiday, an anniversary, whatever, they expect to get gold, and they give gold if it's somebody that they give a shit about. They're always giving gold. And I don't know if that's got something to do with it. I couldn't fucking say, but it was something interesting, I thought. I think it's also interesting, like the situation with, and I don't know, I don't know how relevant this is, or if it's relevant, not at all. But I did see a thing where, like, Thomas Massey is legit calling for an audit of Fort Knox to, like, I want to actually see that there is fucking gold in this fucking thing. Where's my gold? Like, wants to actually see that it's in there. It wouldn't fucking surprise me a bit if that thing was fucking bone dry. Like, has that not been the kosher way of doing business, right? Like, you get in there with the pharaoh, you clean the place out, you get on your fucking chariot, and then, I don't know, like, parting the Red Sea, that's got to be, dude, there's got to be some kind of that's like a figure of speech in some kind of way. I don't know, what does that fucking mean? Because I don't personally believe that, like, oh yeah, you went like this and walked across on dry land. Like, whoa, what do you actually mean here, dude? Because I feel like there's something else going on. Like, it's a figure of speech for like greasing the wheels or something, yeah? Like you paid off the Navy, or who the fuck knows, man? And then one way or the other ran off with all the fucking wealth. And just like we've seen again and again and again and again, like doing it to fucking Germany, doing it to England, did it to Spain. All of these places looted the place dry, made friends with the incoming barbarians, and then parted the Red Sea and hauled ass down the road to the next victim. But with a bit of luck, maybe this time, it'll be last stop. The last ride of the Striped Pajama Express. I'd be into that. Anyway, man, I think I'm going to wrap it up there. I'm going to get jocked up and go take a beating. I do want to give a shout out for Above Time Coffee. If you haven't gotten a chance to listen to the little cereal thing that I'm kind of putting together, I haven't heard much feedback on it. I don't know if cats like it, or if it's just old dudes that, harken back. When I was a little kid, my folks actually got me a copy of the Lone Ranger radio show. And like, that was just a thing that they used to have, like radio shows. So it was like a fucking record, and you put it on and like listen to this shit. And I thought it was the shit when I was a little kid, but then, I thought combustion engines were the shit too, way back when everybody gets tired of riding a fucking horse. Anyway, though, yeah, if cats dig it, I'll keep doing that. If not, then I'll just do little shout outs, and we can all get down the road, and I can resume ranting about something that might or might not matter. It might not matter. yeah, if you dig this content, man, hey, do pass it on, do inflict some of this shit on people if you get anything out of it, if you like it at all. It's available on surprisingly everywhere: Spotify, Apple, even YouTube still, and that's probably why, because not very many, like it's like 7 listens on fucking YouTube or whatever. Anyway, though, I'm gonna get cracking. Hopefully, the next time we talk. I don't know. It's hard to say. Like, I'd like to think that something major and or interesting will happen, but more than likely it'll just be like a deeper descent into bad news and bad deals and such and so on. Anyway, till that time comes, man, keep your eyes on the horizon. Keep your neck out of the noose. I have been Coffee, and these are my takes.